Apocalypse, Halloween. What do those two words have in common? I'll tell you. And it's not in any of those words either. It's veil. 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 That's what those two words have in common. Why do I say that? Well, for starters, apocalypse actually means unveiling. I know a lot of people ascribe, a lot of destruction and doom to that word, but we all know that's through dogma. Let's leave that topic for now. But anyway, apocalypse actually means unveiling. So knowing the truth. The truth has come out. Cat's out the bag. Everything's up. The jig is up. That's what apocalypse means, basically, however you interpret it. And Halloween, reason why it is linked to the veil, Veil, is simply because, a lot of people celebrate things, right? And they take the celebration for granted. But we as human beings are not fools. We may want to party, we may want to have a good time, but we don't just have it for no reason. There's always a reason, be it historical or contemporary. In regards to Halloween, and I'm guessing a lot of people don't know this who celebrate Halloween because we all take celebrations for granted. Halloween is actually I won't say supposedly. Halloween is the time of the year when the veil between the physical plane and the spiritual plane is at its thinnest. For myself, I know that is true because I have had an experience, an otherworldly, out-of-body experience, you may call it. And it was around the time of Halloween 8 years ago, back in 2008. And to put it short, I basically saw a ghost. First question a lot of people ask me when I tell them that, and it's not something I tell everyone and anyone, is, were you drunk? Were you high? I do partake in the indulgences of life as we all do, but I can assure you on that particular day, I was sober as can be. Very alert. And just to know anyway, when I am under the influence of whatever, my mind is still there. I am not one who has hallucinations or hears voices and all those things. It's all there. And even that can be argued, but that's for another video. So, this was going back to Halloween. So end of October, beginning November 2008, I saw a ghost. If you want to know more information, we can always do that. You can leave a comment or whatever and I'll go into it. But for me, reading what I read and studying what I study and knowing what I know 8 years later after that experience, it's just a crystallization for me. Because at that time, of course, I was nowhere near where I am now. As you can imagine, 8 years is a very long time. 1 month is a long time. It feels like a month is a year nowadays. And so that's the story. And of course, in Mexico, I think they have the same celebration. They call it, I think, the Day of the Dead or whatever. And it's the same notion. It's basically the awareness that at certain times of the year, the veil between the physical plane, i.e. 3D, and other planes, i.e. the spiritual plane, is at its thinnest. So don't be surprised if you see things, if funny occurrences occur. I already, bearing in mind, is coming to that cusp. I have already had an odd week. Rare things have been occurring and oddities. That's cool. So yeah, Halloween is a very, very, very interesting time. Of course, people like to make it all spooky and gloomy and dark and everything. And I remember even as a, dogmatic person in the past, I really abhorred it. I thought, what the hell are you doing? Worshipping the devil and all that rubbish. I'll tell you something. Ignorance is a symptom of fear. Not that fear is a symptom of ignorance. Ignorance is a symptom of fear. A lot of people are afraid to know. For me, that's hard to fathom because I want to know. I am inquisitive. I am curious. I want to know. Even if the truth hurts, I must know. That's just my makeup. But a lot of people are afraid to know. if you actually get to know someone and you discuss things, you'll find out that it's quite common for people to be afraid to know. They'd rather not know. And so what happens is that when there are supernatural things, because remember, nature is a result of supernature. The world exists, the physical world exists only to serve the spiritual. So, you know, this is a version, universe, one verse, but there are many verses. This is a version we're in, but of course it's linked to other versions that we may not be able to perceive, or at least most of us. And so you'll have, I don't want to say religious people because that is too, you know, too narrow of a word. Dogmatic people will find that because they cannot understand, or they don't want to jump into the rabbit hole to find out, because it's just too much for them, it's overwhelming, they will just, you know, put down a lazy thought. Oh yeah, it's bad, it's the devil, don't bother with it, don't partake in it, not to actually understand it. But if you dive real deep and try and understand, you will find that, oh, it's just my perception, it's not that it's bad or good, it is what it is. And that's all. It's just the thinnest time of the year for the veil. So if you were someone who engages in spiritual practice, or you're trying to connect with your higher self or with other selves, Halloween would be the best time to do it, around this time of the year. I've always felt, you know, a special feeling around this time of year in terms of festivities and everything, you know. This should be the new year, you know, not January. I discussed that in another video why. But yeah, man, Halloween is cool. It's really cool. I mean, I always know there are stories behind things. I don't just take, you know, the story for granted like a lot of people do. I like to actually research and find out, why was this particular festival born? Why was this particular thing done? There was a story behind it. There was, you know, rationale behind it. And the rationale with Halloween is simply the veil and the thinness of it. Apocalypse means unveiling. So Halloween is apocalyptic because you have the chance to know. You know, not just know, you have the chance to know. So depending how your mind works, you will see that as a good thing, or you will see that as a bad thing, or you may be indifferent. If you're indifferent, something's up, because you must be affected. But just know that one group of people seeing one thing as bad could actually be a very illuminating thing. It's just that, you know, if you are a sheep and your mind and judgments are influenced by others, you know the story. We all know this about religion already. So yeah, that's that. Enjoy your Halloween. I hope you see some ghosts. I hope you get chased by ghosts, because that would be quite fun in a haunted house. And just, you know, keep yourself open. Don't just look at things and take them for granted because that's how you were raised or that's what you were told. I'm very fortunate. Although I was raised in religion, my parents always had that Aquarian liberalism to them. So I'm very fortunate, and I thank them and love them dearly for that. But for the rest of you out there who are entrenched in dogma, just know before you judge that there is no such thing as good or bad. It is what it is. Good or bad is from the perception, which is from the mind. So figure it out for yourself. Don't take things for granted. Dive deep. Unlearn.